my goodness, folks. I have some absolutely explosive information to share with you today about a scandal that could completely destroy what remains of Meghan Markle's carefully crafted public image. This is without question the most shocking royal controversy since the Prince Andrew disaster, and it threatens to obliterate the Sussex brand beyond repair. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, Pund, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, according to bombshell new claims, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's convicted accomplice who is currently serving 20 years in prison, has allegedly made references to a secret CV connected to Meghan Markle. And within this alleged document is a chilling phrase that has set social media ablaze: playing the adult game. Let me be crystal clear about the magnitude of what we're witnessing. Meghan Markle, who has spent years carefully cultivating her image as a humanitarian, feminist icon, and truth-teller, now finds her name being dragged into the toxic orbit of the most notorious sex trafficking scandal of our time. These shocking allegations suggest something far more calculated about Meghan's rise to fame than the fairy tale narrative she's always pushed. For years, critics have questioned how an actress from a cable legal drama managed to catch the eye of British royalty. Now, these Maxwell connections raise disturbing new questions about Meghan's past and the circles she may have moved in before meeting Harry. The alleged CV reportedly circulated in elite social circles, a resume of sorts that positioned Meghan as more than just an actress. The inclusion of phrases like adult game has become powerful ammunition for those who've long accused her of strategically networking her way through wealthy circles before landing a prince. Even more explosive are whispers that Meghan may have known Virginia Giuffre personally. For those who don't remember, Giuffre's testimony was central to exposing Epstein's network and bringing Prince Andrew's name into disgrace. If Meghan did in fact know Giuffre before her royal marriage, it raises absolutely devastating questions about what she knew and when. Think about the implications here. Meghan has repeatedly styled herself as a brave truth-teller unafraid to challenge powerful men. Yet, if she had any prior awareness of the Epstein scandal, or Andrew's connections to it before she joined the royal family and chose to remain silent, that moral high ground completely collapses. This creates a web of contradictions that's impossible to ignore. Meghan has always claimed she knew little about the royal family before meeting Harry, painting herself as a wide-eyed outsider who barely even Googled her prince. Yet here she is, allegedly linked to the very scandal that shook the monarchy to its core. The narrative simply doesn't add up. What's particularly damning is Meghan's complete silence in response to these allegations. Her typical strategy when faced with negative press has been predictable: ignore the story, let surrogates push back, and wait for headlines to fade. But in this case, her silence is absolutely deafening, and increasingly being interpreted not as dignity, but as guilt. Critics argue that if she truly had nothing to hide, she would issue an immediate and categorical denial. Instead, with each passing day of silence, speculation grows louder, and the whispers become shouts. The court of public opinion is already delivering its verdict, and it's not in Meghan's favor. For Prince Harry, this scandal is nothing short of catastrophic. Already mocked as the spare who abandoned his royal duties, he's now being painted as the husband who either knew about Meghan's controversial past and ignored it, or worse, has been covering it up. Headlines are brutalizing him as the man who gave up a crown for a yacht duchess. Insiders suggest the tension between the couple is reaching boiling point, with Harry reportedly furious at being dragged into yet another scandal that threatens to permanently tarnish what remains of his royal reputation. But Harry is trapped in an impossible position: defend Meghan and risk looking complicit, or stay silent and appear weak. Either way, he loses. If the Sussexes hoped the public would rally to their defense, they've gravely miscalculated. Social media platforms have become arenas of ruthless mockery, with hashtags like Meghan Maxwell Files and Duchess of Secrets trending repeatedly. TikTok creators are splicing her Oprah interview claim, "I didn't really know much about the royal family," with headlines about her alleged connections to Giuffre, creating viral content that's spreading like wildfire. Twitter users have branded her the Duchess of Denial, while Instagram memes cast her as the last player in the adult game. Once the internet reduces you to a meme, your brand is no longer yours. It belongs to the crowd, and they're tearing it to shreds. Perhaps the most devastating fallout is happening in Hollywood, where Meghan and Harry have staked their post-royal future. Their currency was their perceived power, prestige, and ability to draw positive attention. But that attention has turned toxic almost overnight. Producers and studios already burned by their failed projects. The Spotify debacle, lackluster Netflix shows, Meghan's struggling American Riviera Orchard brand. Now see a scandal, too radioactive to touch. PR insiders whisper that Meghan's calls are being quietly ignored, with executives unwilling to gamble on someone whose name is being linked, even indirectly, to Epstein and Maxwell. In Hollywood, reputation is everything, and Meghan's is imploding before our eyes. What makes this situation particularly precarious is that Meghan's entire brand rested on three key pillars: the outsider narrative, I didn't know the royals; the love story, Harry chose me and I chose love; and the feminist humanitarian image, a modern-day Diana. But Maxwell's alleged revelations rip those pillars apart with surgical precision. If she knew Virginia Giuffre, she wasn't the naive outsider she claimed to be. If she once circulated in these elite circles with a special CV, her love story suddenly looks far more opportunistic. And if she's tied, even by rumor, to Epstein's orbit, her feminist humanitarian mask shatters completely. The Sussex brand is now hanging by the thinnest of threads, and Meghan's reported threats to sue may only make matters worse. Tom Bower's investigations have proven in the past that when pushed, investigators push back harder. Suing Maxwell or her associates could drag Meghan into the very spotlight she's desperately trying to avoid. What's particularly ironic about this entire situation is the timing. Just as Meghan attempts to relaunch her image with her lifestyle brand and Netflix projects, this scandal emerges to remind the world of questions about her past that have never been fully answered. It's as if the universe itself is rejecting her attempts to reinvent herself without addressing the contradictions in her carefully crafted narrative. For a woman who has built her entire post-royal identity on controlling the narrative, this represents her worst nightmare come to life. A story she cannot control, silence, or spin to her advantage. The mask is slipping, and the public doesn't like what it sees underneath. Should Meghan finally break her silence? The stakes couldn't be higher. If she speaks out and denies these allegations, she risks drawing even more attention to her past and inviting deeper investigation. If she stays silent, that silence increasingly looks like confirmation of guilt to a public already skeptical of her claims. Every day she refuses to address these allegations, the speculation grows louder and more damaging. What began as whispers has become a roar that threatens to permanently define her public image. The Duchess, who once styled herself as a humanitarian icon, now finds her name linked to one of the darkest scandals of our time. And there seems to be no easy escape. For Harry, the question becomes even more gut-wrenching. How does he handle being dragged into yet another scandal, especially one tied to Epstein and Maxwell? Can their marriage survive this level of public humiliation? Or will Harry finally realize he's paying the price for secrets that aren't even his? Meghan Markle once believed she could outwit the monarchy, outshine Hollywood, and outlast her critics. But now, with her name brushing against the darkest scandal of the century, her options are rapidly dwindling. Silence makes her look guilty. Legal threats could backfire catastrophically. And the public, already weary of her constant drama, is turning against her with savage intensity. This isn't just another bad headline or temporary PR crisis for the Sussexes. This could be the scandal that permanently defines Meghan's legacy. The coming weeks will determine whether she can somehow navigate these treacherous waters, or whether she'll be permanently branded by association with a scandal no public figure can survive. One thing is certain, the fairy tale is over. The carefully constructed narrative of the actress who captured a prince's heart is crumbling under the weight of questions she never wanted asked. And as the walls close in around her, Meghan faces the most difficult decision of her public life. Speak up and risk everything, or stay silent and watch her reputation disintegrate beyond repair. tot, and bye for now.